Good morning. Please join me in a breath. We breathe together. We breathe together here in this room. We breathe together wherever it is we might be gathering from. We breathe together to begin. We breathe together to begin with intention, what it means to gather as hybrid church. As hybrid church. Breathe together to gather ourselves in. To gather ourselves in. I light some sort of each day as a visual reminder that there is within us something that is eternal and ineffable, and so we just call it the light. I intentionally chose to light this candle that has been here, sat witness of the last 18 months. Of pantry activity going on because we are at a point in our lives as humans where we are deciding what we will pick up that we had set aside and what we will just let lay. I have prepared in my notes just a kind of regular Sunday morning with a few adjustments because there's a camera there that I know folks are seeing through, and I don't want to only make eye contact with you, right? Hello at home. It also feels incredibly weird to not talk about all of but we've been navigating it. We continue to navigate it, caring for each other, which will be exactly what we consider this morning. I want to begin with some words that I shared just in July from Padre Gotuma's work, because they made the most sense for me this morning as a way to begin today. It is this kind of tension, this kind of wondering, this kind of exploration that's happening, but also in a place that, and in a way that, and amongst a people who we're so familiar with. And what does it mean to be here? And what does it mean to be at home, but also here? Padraig writes in his book, In the Shelter, in many circles of faith or spirituality, there is generous time given to the testimony, the telling of the story of conversion or reconversion, of enlightenment or change. But testimony, if told or heard unwisely, can be a colonization of a single experience into a universal requirement. Jesus fed me when I was hungry, we hear, and those who are hungry feel bereft. Jesus healed me when I was sick, say the healthy, and the burdened feel more burdened. Meditation cured me of depression, say some, and others make plans to hide the Prozac. Upon whom is the burden of words, he writes. I don't know, he writes. I don't think there is an answer. I cannot dampen gladness because it will burden the unglad. But I cannot proclaim gladness as a promise that will only shackle the already bound. Faith shelters some and shadows others. It loosens some and it binds others. Is this a judgment of the message or the messenger? The one praying or the prayer being prayed? I don't know, he writes. Hello to what we don't know. Hello to what we don't know. And then he tells us, what I do know is that it can help to find the words to tell the truth of where we are right now. If we can find the courage to name here, especially the place where you do not wish to be, It can help you be there. Instead of resenting another's words of gladness or of pain, it may be possible to hear it as simply another location. They are there and I am here. At another point, we will be in different locations and everybody will pass by many locations in their life. The pain is only deepened when the location is resented, or even worse, unnamed. Hello to here. Hello to here. Hello to hybrid service. I've had some worries, as I mentioned, some worries that we might be somewhat unwise in our telling or unwise in our hearing about where we find ourselves this morning. I am glad of some things, of course. I am mourning some other things, of course. You too. You too, I imagine. I am looking forward to hearing. Friends, I want weird things. I am looking forward to hearing other voices in those prayers that we say together, instead of just mine at a tone that doesn't activate the dog. I am sad that I don't feel ready to hug the entire room of people. I was telling Dawn and Jackie, for gay men of my generation and the generation just before mine, we all saw the chart, right? That's well, if you've made this contact with this person and then it's just this, right? So I was if I hug everybody, in some weird reason, I've had a breakthrough that then everybody gets, I'm the red dot in the middle. I don't ever want to be the red dot in the middle. Ever. Right? But I do want to hug everybody. It's a very weird place to be. And I'm grateful that some of us can be here in person. I'm grateful that some of us can gather still apart. I suspect you're having some of those feelings too. I don't think joining from home is second place. I don't think it's a competition, but this is America, so of course it is. It's not second place. There's no second place. It's just a different first place, isn't it? It's just a different first place. Let us know, those who are at home, that if someone here says, oh boy, I sure wish you would have been there this morning, it's not pressure. It's not coercion. It's simply, I miss you. It's a statement of love. It is a reminder, oh, I sure love you. I sure love you. Let us choose to tell and hear wisely where it is we have chosen to be today, where we find ourselves today. Wherever we are in the world, wherever we are in the midst of change, we are in change together. Let us embrace that change, extend grace into its shifting waters, dwell in the midst of this generous moment. This generous moment, and let love call us on. Let us build church together, here and at a distance, together still. Together still. "18 months ago, this was the moment when I was what do I do instead of children's time? And it took a little while for me to get into the right workshop to tell me the thing. And as I was preparing for this morning, I was what do I do instead of sharing? Except I'm not going to do anything instead of, because I really like that part on our Sunday mornings when we share something with, you don't even have to type today. You don't have to type. You can just use your words hole. Just come right out. If you are on Facebook, you do have to type. I'm sorry. That might feel like second place, but your words will be memorialized forever on the internet, and these folks are just ethereal, I'm going to invite you not to get up and move around the room. That seems a little counterintuitive considering all things, but to share with the person just next to you. And it may be a person that you share things with all the time, and you think, except you maybe don't share this sort of thing all the time. And so I invite you to share with the folks sitting next to you or near you, and if you're on Facebook, and I know that I say this all the time and folks don't do it, even if you're watching this later, I want you to type because it's a point of connection. And eventually we'll all figure out that I ask you to share these things not just so that the person can hear them, but so that you can think of them in order to share them. You see. It's a gold coin and it has two sides. It's a very, very good coin. And so what I would like for you to share this morning, and I'll do what I always do, which is share mine with you, and then I'm going to try to eavesdrop while you're sharing and while you're typing. I can't eavesdrop you without getting my phone out, and that still feels weird from up here, but I might. What I would like for you to share is something unexpected and joyful that unfolded for you in the last week. Unexpected and joyful. So I'll tell you mine. I was walking the dog one morning, and I thought to myself, oh, I'm a potter, just like I always wanted to be. I've wanted to be a potter since I was in elementary school and never got the chance to touch a pottery wheel until a few years ago when I just all of a sudden was like, I'm going to take a pottery class at long last. Right? And so for me, like that was a great thought. And then like, oh, just like I always wanted to. And then, oh, right? So I suspect that there's something, whether it was very recent or sometime less recent, that was an unexpected moment of joy for you, something you realized, something you witnessed, something you experienced. Share that with someone near you. Type that into the comments. Go. I love it. This went so much better than the Zoom sharing. So much better than the Zoom sharing. Oh, thank you all for sharing joys and receiving joys, and don't they somehow get brighter? Don't they somehow get brighter when we do? By way of announcements, they're really more just things I'm going to tell you than things that are going to happen. So one is, normally just here to the left, Jane is sitting and interpreting. She's doing that from home for a little while longer. I was not prepared for how disjointed that would feel to not be able to check in with her visually, either on a screen or out of the corner of my eye. So let us continue to hold Jane in gratitude for the years of that service. Also knowing that she's hearing me right now if all is going well. I will add to that we've spent a lot of hours touching buttons getting ready for this. For folks who are online and folks who are here, two things are happening. One, that video will be saved in facebook.com/thechurchwithin/videos, just like all of the last however many months we were online. Second of all, it's saving locally, so that should something happen with that stream, that video can then be uploaded. So there's a backup, because that's how I am. And so I was like, can this machine do these things? And it can, and that was very good to know. So Jane is there on the internet, existing. I presume she still exists in 3D, but she may have gone full digital by this point. I didn't remember what else I was going to tell you, but I've looked here. And so this, again, less of an announcement, but more of a logistical consideration. So one of the things that you will notice is that there was not coffee this morning. And we're also not, and you may have noticed there are no tables with chairs in the fellowship area, because it seemed counterintuitive, again, when most of us are wearing masks, to then take them off and then mouth breathe on each other while we're having soup. And so what you'll also notice is all the other seating is still around the building. You'll also notice that these chairs are still not attached to the ground. The chairs that used to be near the bookstore, the used bookstore, which is still open and running, feel free to get some books today. Those used to be attached to each other so that they stayed where they were. They've become detached. And you'll see them stationed around, and they're super light and easy to pick up and carry. Picnic tables still outside. So my hope is that, or my expectation is, you're going to want to catch up today a bit. You're going to want to catch up. And that we have this big, giant building where we can stay distanced and still have some conversations. We'll put the chairs back. If you want to put them where you found them, that would warm my little heart. But if you don't put them back, then we'll put them back. Feel free to adjust things so that you can have little space. Feel free to go to Edna Lacey Park that is just over by the Eli Lilly campus. Feel free to go to Garfield Park. Feel free to go to one of the 8,000 coffee shops and restaurants that has outdoor seating, but find a way to connect with each other. Here, look on the Facebook comments later and see who was here with you and say, hey, I'd love to see you if we can sit down somewhere outside, and that feels good, right? Because we build church together. We pretend that it's this hour. But it's really so much more than that. So much more. There are a couple folks, one of whom is here today, who's like, Darren, I'm just going to tell you, service isn't my favorite part of church. Like, I like it, but what I really like are the things we do in the community. What I really like are the ways that we engage and are of service. What I really like, and I'm like, yeah, me too. So take time to reconnect today and next Sunday and the Sunday after. As we prepare for meditation and prayer, let's take a moment. We are together in person. We are together virtually. We are in this whole new way of building. We are here. Hello to here. We are filled with emotion about this, at least I am. We are here to have these jumbled up feelings as they emerge and to do our best to not allow them to have us. Take a moment to look around in here, to look around in those comments on Facebook and see who it is with whom you are building church, whether you're in the church building or not. Hello to here. Hello to here. Allow yourself, as we enter into this time of meditation and then prayer, to come alive, to come fully alive.
Love I have for you, my God, is only a shadow of your love for me. Only a shadow of your love for me. Your deep abiding love, my own belief in you, my God, is only shadow of your faith in me. Only shadow of your faith in me, your deep and lasting faith. My life My love for you will grow, my God. Your light in me will shine. Your light in me will shine.
At the Church Within, we meditate. We meditate to connect with Source and to remember once again that we are fully and totally one with the mind of God. We are capable of being loved wherever we are, whatever we do. And we are wise enough to bring that to our hearts and to life. So I ask you to find a very comfortable place for you, wherever you're sitting. And if you are comfortable with closing your eyes, do so, or at least divert your eyes away from surrounding things. And just be with yourself right now. Take a deep, cleansing breath with me. And this next time, I want you to bring that breath deep within you. I want you to truly think about that breath. Slowly breathe in, and ever so slowly breathe out and relax. And continue to deepen and continue to relax. And ever so softly, feel a comforting hush come over you. With each rise and fall of your chest, sink even deeper into relaxation and breathe. Let go. Allow these words to ride just above your thoughts. In this hour and in this moment, my world is still. I am comforted. I hear the stillness. I feel safety all around. I am open and receptive to Spirit working in and through me now to assure that all is well. I am safe. I am comforted. Whether in the presence of others or alone, I am always safe. Spirit works in and through me wherever I am. I need not fear or be anxious or concerned for my health and well-being. For I know wherever I am, God is. God is all-seeing, on point, available, and watching over me for my safety and comfort. I choose to live fearlessly in the shadows of doubt and negativity, and remember that from time immemorial, people have called upon the powerful energy of the name God, Spirit, Yahweh, Allah. No matter how much the world around me may change, I have with me always this timeless energy, God, always on point. all-seeing, available and watching over me for my safety and comfort. So right now, right here, I am still. I am comforted. I am safe. There's a prayer that we have said so many times together, and I want to say this prayer now, and please allow it to start in your ears. Hear the words. Let it arise up to your head and then deepen and feel it in your heart. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The almighty power and protection of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is forever well. So as you come back from your meditation, wherever you've been, just know that the foundation of this church is built upon the power of prayer. Should you ever need someone to pray with and for you, you may do that by making a request at thechurchwithin.org. And when present here at church, there's a prayer box in this room and one in the lobby where you can make a prayer request. If you're in need of prayer today, I will be available after service to pray with you.
Thank you. Please hear these words, a poem from Padre Gotuma, The Facts of Life. That you were born and you will die. That you will sometimes love enough and sometimes not. That you will lie, if only to yourself. That you will get tired. That you will learn most from the situations you did not choose. That there will be some things that move you more than you can say. That you will live, that you must be loved. That you will avoid questions most urgently in need of your attention. That you began as the fusion of a sperm and an egg of two people who were once strangers and may still be. That life isn't fair. That life is sometimes good and sometimes better than good. That life is often not so good. That life is real. And if you can survive it, well, survive it well. With love and art and meaning given where meaning is scarce. That you will learn to live with regret. That you will learn to live with respect. That the structures that constrict you may not be permanently constraining. That you will probably be okay. That you must accept change before you die, but you will die anyway, so you might as well live. And you might as well love, you might as well love, you might as well love. We are, and are becoming ever more, a community of care. As Padraig reminds us in the poem, we might as well love. We might as well love. Community care is born of love, and it is love that draws us one to another. I first uttered that phrase a couple of years ago, attempting at least to move us from the idea that is so trendy of self-care into the more sustainable notion of community care. Our self-care is, if we're being honest, almost always community care anyway, isn't it? Even if the only thing we need from community is that we be left to be on our own for a time, the community is still withdrawing for us to allow that space. Moving from self to community care in our mind and our language helps us recognize the reciprocity of life. The reciprocity of life. It's not one of us back and forth. It's not transactional. It's knowing that there is this abundance that moves between us, and when we have, we share. And when we feel lack, we are willing to receive. And so in that way, reciprocity. That reciprocity that gets to the point where we kind of get confused about if we're giving or receiving in that moment. If we're giving or receiving in that moment. Over the last month, 30-ish people have been working really hard to get this church building ready, to get the property ready for us to be here today in the building and through this technology that was part of that 30 people doing a lot of work. Paint has been touched up, carpets have been cleaned, glass has been cleaned, doors completely repainted. All the things on the floor were put up on the stage or on top of other things on the floor so that the carpet could be cleaned, and then those things were put back in their place, and some of them in whole new places, which you'll notice, I'm sure. The storage room was cleaned and organized, the same for the kitchen. All of the things were inventoried and then put back. Some things gotten rid of, some things added. A lot of errands were run to make it all happen. Of those 30-ish folks, a number of you, were here again and again. Some folks were here alone, doing work that only they and a couple other people even will know about. And some people were here when no one else even knew about it, their work probably always remaining a secret, not being able to be counted. Yesterday, a handful of folks gathered here in this room for a bit of guided imagery and then walked throughout the building and the property, offering physical touch to the bricks and mortar and furniture and trees and earth. Physical touch, intentional blessing. My instruction for those touches was grown from the idea of Moses Chaim Luzato's reminder that all of creation is saturated with latent holiness awaiting our touch. We were acting yesterday to re-enliven that, to transform the energy of the church within as 18 months of No Questions Asked Food Pantry back into sitting in rows and in clusters and doing all the things that are more obviously what we're used to. We did all of that so that it would feel like here today, like welcome home today. Whether we're experiencing it firsthand or still digitally, welcome home today. All of that, every bit of it, from the acts to the thoughts that started the acts, to the heart that swelled, to the body that got tired, every bit of that was community care. Preparing the church building so that we could build church in this building and together apart. Think about that just for a bit. Preparing the church building so that we could be about the work of building church. Before you maybe even knew for certain how you were going to participate today, there were people for weeks preparing space for you, welcoming space for you. Another line from Padre Gotuma that I've repeated so often is that which comes from his translation of the Irish saying, "It is in the shelter of each other that people live." It is in the shelter of each other that people live. For a month, a group of dedicated volunteers have been using their time and talents to create shelter. And for 17 months before that, a smaller group of volunteers maintaining, fixing, friends. So much, right? So much. I want us not to take that lightly. I want us not to take that lightly. I want us not to take that lightly, whether we're the folks who are just so grateful that others did it, or if we're the folks who were doing it. Don't take lightly what you did. Don't take lightly what was done for you. The key here is what does it mean to shelter each other? What does it mean to shelter each other? To care for each other as community now, this very particular now. To bring gravitas to the consideration it holds for me, I want to share with you the full telling of Dr. Rachel Naomi Remen's explanation of Tikkun Olam, because I repeat just a part of it so regularly, and I want it to have the whole context. In an interview on Being, she says, "This is the story of the birthday of the world. In the beginning, there was only the holy darkness, the Ein Sof, the source of life. Then, in the course of history, at a moment in time, this world, the world of 1,000 things emerged. It emerged from the heart of the holy darkness as a great ray of light. Then, there was an accident. And the vessels containing the light of the world, the wholeness of the world, broke. In the wholeness in the world, the light of the world was scattered into 1,000 fragments of light. And they fell into all the events and all people, where they remain deeply hidden until this very day. And they fell into all events and all people, where they remain deeply hidden until this very day. The wholeness in the world, the light of the world, was scattered into 1,000 fragments of light, and they fell into all events and all people, where they remain hidden until this very day." And then she says, "According to my grandfather, who was a rabbi, the whole human race is a response to this accident. We are here because we are born with the capacity to find hidden light in all people, to lift up and make it visible once again, and thereby to restore the innateness of the world." When she said this, she says, "This is a very important story for our times. This is a very important story for our time, that we heal the world one heart," she says. This task is called Tikkun Olam in Hebrew, restoring the world. She goes on, "Tikkun Olam is the restoration of the world, and this is, of course, a collective task, community care. It involves all people who have ever been born, all people presently alive, all people yet to be born. We are all healers of the world. It involves everyone ever born, everyone alive, everyone yet to be. We are all healers of the world." She uses all a lot. She uses all a lot. Stop excusing yourself from it. That light, that same light of 1,000 things is deeply hidden in you, though, dare I say, not so deeply. Not so deeply. Thank you for the work. Thank you for the work of revealing it. Stop excusing yourself from that. Thank you for doing the work of seeing it in others. She says we are all healers of the world, and that story opens a sense of possibility. A sense of possibility. It's not about healing the world by making a huge difference. It's about healing the world that touches you, that's around you. Let's take a breath. I talk about this so much because I believe it to be an essential spiritual understanding and an essential spiritual practice. The language of it from Rachel Naomi Remen is very religiously and traditionally tied, right? It comes from a specific place that we can identify. And yet we hear it in different places. It's essential. It's essential. It's also something we forget when things get messy, when things get tough, when things get frustrating, and, weirdly, when things get too easy. When things get too easy. When things get too easy and we're faced with someone whose light is especially hidden, we wonder what's wrong with them. Everything's so wonderful and glorious and life is filled with such joy. How could they be sad? Right? We forget our call to offer healing touch. We use spiritual bypassing to tell them, oh, that suffering you're experiencing is just an illusion. Oh, well, thanks for adding to that. Sure appreciate you today, friends. I've just realized I'm going to use that voice a lot because there's this woman on Instagram called I Am Baker. And while she's been pandemicking, she's a baker who does these amazing things. But she's created this character who answers fake phone calls of people complaining about the internet. And she just has strapped a plastic spork to her face as her little headphone. And so when people have really dumb complaints, she has this customer, oh yes, I see. They use dairy and you're lactose intolerant. How dare they? I'm going to record that for you. And so that voice has become part of my inner voice when these things come up, right? So life gets too easy for us, which isn't a real thing, but it becomes so easy that we forget, right? I'll always come back to traffic. When I've left 10 minutes early, I wonder why everyone's in a hurry, and when I've left 3 minutes late, I wonder why they're in a car if they don't have any place to be. You could walk there. A thing I say often, I've said it for years, when you're sitting behind someone and you want to go and they want to turn left and you see opportunity after opportunity and they're not taking it, as I'd say, you could have gone twice by now. And after years of saying it, I turned to Frank one day and said, I don't even know what I think that means they could have gone twice. Who turns left twice? And he's like, I've always wondered. That man extends so much grace. So much grace. Yesterday in the guided imagery, I invited folks to notice discomfort in their body, tension in their body, as I do in almost every guided imagery that I ever offer. We scan the body, we note what we're feeling, and we do so without investing in the story of each sensation. So an example of that is Frank has poison ivy right now, a lot of it, because he pulled out the invasive English ivy from our backyard, and some of that had grown under and into the garage somehow. I guess that's what invasive means, isn't it? It invaded our garage as well as our soil, and with it, under the side of the garage, some poison ivy grew. But because there was no light in there, there were no leaves. And so it just looked like another English ivy vine. So I'm certain Frank is very excited that I'm reminding him how much he itches on his arms and legs right now. You're welcome. So the sensation of itching, that's happening right now. And so Frank could check in with that. Oh, yep. That calls him into the moment. Itching is happening. The story that I just shared with you about why the itching is happening draws him away from the moment, right? It draws him into the past. It draws him into why did that happen and when did it happen? And boy, I sure could have made a better choice, or I wish I would have known, or all the things, right? So we check in with the sensation. We notice it. We dwell with it. We don't follow the story. Then I asked folks yesterday to notice the parts of their bodies that they don't think of often. I invited them to notice the parts of their bodies that are working just fine. causing no discomfort, no reason for complaint. We don't do that very often. We don't do that very often. When grumbling about this grinding in my knee, I never think, boy, my shin and my thigh sure feel great right now. But they do. My shin and my thigh are holding up great. It's the knee that's the problem. But I think about that instead of what's going great. In fact, percentage-wise, this thing's working pretty doggone solidly. Most days. I'm 46. It's happening. Right? There's a man named Kenan Callahan who, if you were ever in a leadership role here, went through ministerial studies with Yvonne and Calvin, you've read the most boring book in the history of books by Kenan Callahan that is also filled with this just wealth of information. Like it's not a bunch of stories. It's a lot of charts. And what Kenan Callahan has studied for decades is satisfaction in churches. And it applies to other organizations, but his language is specifically church language. And what he notes is this thing that I've just mentioned. So you've walked in today, first time in 18 months, so I suspect you were very excited about how you have found the building. Given a few more Sundays, you'll start noticing things. You'll notice how I don't know what that stuff's called, at the bottom of the wall, that rubber stuff, you'll notice that there's some paint on it in the entryway. I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you all the things you'll notice. You'll notice that they painted the trim around the doors, but only as high as they could reach. We paid them. I'm not complaining about volunteers. I would keep that to myself. So and she wasn't very tall, I'm just going to let you know, right? You'll notice these things. And so what Kenan Callahan says is, walking into a building that is fully prepared does not increase satisfaction in any measurable way. But if something's wrong, it decreases satisfaction. That's unfair. That's unfair, right? Walking around downtown with a knee that crunches increases my dissatisfaction, but these great thighs and shins do not increase satisfaction. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. It's not fair at all. If we hold up Padre Gotuma's poem to Dr. Remen's presentation of Tikkun Olam, we find that our attention to healing the world that touches us is often limited by a lot of circumstances, most of which are out of our control, even though we do try, most of which are simply the facts of life. And so when we're too tired, in too much pain, when suffering is too high, it's hard to look for that light that's hidden in other people. And when the light is so revealed to us, it's hard for us to be present with folks who are experiencing pain and suffering because we want them to not. Because it threatens us, doesn't it? It threatens our gladness if we don't carry it well. Wonderfully, both can exist. Both can exist. And wonderfully, just like Padraig's sharing from the beginning, where we are right now is just a single location, and someday we'll be in another location. And those who were passing by will shift location as well. If we can even entertain as truth that we are born with the capacity to find the hidden light in all events and all people, to lift it up and make it visible once again, and thereby to restore the innate wholeness of the world and to heal the world one heart at a time, then we must also believe that we can do all of that in the midst of the facts of life. Community care, Tikkun Olam, is what we do when we come to the last line of the poem, the one that he repeated over and over: we might as well love. We might as well love. I'm glad you are here today to practice that. I'm glad for all the moments of loving that made this particular here ready for this morning. I'm glad for all the moments of loving that you have engaged throughout these last 18 months, throughout the months and years and lifetimes before that. In all the time that is yet to be, I am grateful for all of that love. Every tiny act of love. Every tiny act. All tiny acts of love change the future. All tiny acts of love change the future. Every single one. The future of the world, like no pressure. No pressure. But the future of the world is in your hands. But just the little world right around you. And I don't know what happens outside of that circle, but I trust that it happens. I trust that it's happening. I'm going to close with this same poem, but I've adjusted it a bit. Hubris I learned from Yvonne Brandenburg. It's Padre Toma, he'd be fine with it. I've adjusted it just a bit so that we might remember. That we might remember what it is we are about as a community of care when the world is touching us. And the world is always touching us if we let it. If we let it. The facts of life are this. You were born and you will die, so you might as well love. You will sometimes love enough and sometimes not. Still, you might as well love. You will lie if only to yourself, so you might as well love. You will get tired, and so you might as well love. You will learn most from the situations you did not choose. You might as well love. There will be some things that move you more than you can say. Love. You will live. You must be loved, so you might as well love. You will avoid questions most urgently in need of your attention. Love. You began as the fusion of a sperm and an egg of two people who were once strangers and may well still be, and you might as well love. Life isn't fair. You might as well love. Life is sometimes good and sometimes it is better than good. Love. Life is often not so good. Love. Life is real, and if you can survive it, well, survive it well with love and art and meaning given where meaning is scarce. You will learn to live with regret. Love still. You will learn to live with respect. Love. Love. Those structures that constrict you may not be permanently constraining, and so love. You'll probably be okay. Love. You must accept change before you die. You'll die anyway. So you might as well live. And you might as well love. You might as well love. You might as well love. Let us all together love. So it is. Amen.
We are made for service, to care for each other. We are made to love each sister and brother with love that will last through sorrow and pain. A love that will never die with strain. Life can be so lonely when nobody cares. Life can be so empty when nobody shares. But if we give ourselves both time and again, the happiness of God will live within. We are made for service, to care for each other. We are made to love each sister and brother with love that will last through sorrow with strength.
I'm very excited about this part. So in just a moment, we will say the offering prayer together. We are not going to pass the baskets again. Like, it would be hard, first of all. And so what I invite you to is the basket is near the door. You can see David Vanna White is showing that right now. You also, like, maybe everyone doesn't know that it's a miracle that David's on his feet, because for the last, I don't know, 2 months, he had surgery on his foot that included just, I swear it was just a straight pin from the sewing kit in his toe, keeping it straight. And so he just got it out last week, and it's very exciting to see you reemerge to the world, and Vanna Whiting so soon. So soon. And so as you are on your way out, you can drop donation there if you would like. You can do that online still. You can text it still. When I first set that podium up, I put it on the other side, and I was like, no, this is where I stand, and everyone's going to think I'm going. And I kind of want to now that I thought of it, but that's not how we roll here. But we will still pray together. Oh, holy cats. And I presume there's some, do you want to play some music after we pray? Or? Oh, yes. Phoenix is ready, so we're going to have some guitar moving through us. And then we're going to sing together. And I can sing as loud as I want, and the dog won't get activated, and I can hear all of you. He gets real confused when the singing happens from me. And then we will end the service together with the song like we do, but just right where we are. Right? We won't hold hands. Maybe our hands will come to our hearts as we sing, right? Remembering that connection one to another. And then we'll say the closing prayer right where we are, and then we'll get about the business of helloing those who we have yet to hello. I literally just told you what was about to happen and then forgot what was about to happen. Creator God, all that I am and all that I have comes from your limitless supply. I am an open and willing conduit through which your good flows. I share all that I have as you direct. Love, friendship, prosperity, peace, abundance, and joy are gifts that I share and receive. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. Amen.
Ready? All people are holy, many past one God. All people are holy, only love is real. No matter who you are, no matter where you've been, let's gather together and let the Spirit in. All people are holy, many past one God. All bodies are holy, only love is real. Only love is real.
May the peace of God go before us into this glorious week. And may the peace remain wherever we have walked. Peace above us and below us.
Peace
Peace to the right
to the left,
and to the left. Peace within and without.
Peace in the face of everyone
we meet. Peace in the words to everyone we greet.
Amen.
Amen.